Hi guys, so here's all the ingredients you're going to need for these cookies, and don't worry, I will have the link to the recipe and also the measurements in this video. But we are going to make peanut butter cookies. Please set your oven at 350 degrees and get parchment paper for your baking pans there, and let's get started. So in here, you're going to see I used applesauce instead of butter. The recipe called for butter, but when you're vegan, you can use like coconut oil or applesauce. But for us, applesauce is the most healthiest. So I decided to go with the applesauce. And you're just going to use 1.5 cups of that. And then next, I'm getting the vanilla. It's 3 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm just going to add this. This recipe is really nice. You just dump everything into a bowl, and you'll see how easy it is. And the cookies turned out really good. So let me show you here. Next, I used homemade almond milk. You can use whatever plant-based milk you have, or even if you're not vegan, you could use regular milk. But here I'm using my homemade almond milk. Next, I'm going to go for 2.25 cup of peanut butter. You can use any kind of peanut butter you'd like. You can even use chunky peanut butter, but I'm using creamy. And you're going to notice that I put a lot of peanut butter in my bowl, but that's because this measuring cup I'm using is 1/2 cup. And, you know, because my 1 cup is, the handle's broken on it, so I have to kind of use the 1/2 cup. Because I'm too lazy to go and get cups. But you'll see it works just as well, and I sped it up a little bit so you guys don't have to sit through a whole big production, you know. And if you hear any music in the background, that's just Jerry. He's back there playing his keyboard, practicing all the different sounds. So I decided to try to go into a little room that I thought was kind of quiet to do the voiceover here. Next, we're going to go ahead and mix up the sugars with the peanut butter. I forgot to plug it in. And there's the sugars. I actually, you're supposed to actually kind of do it all together at one time, but I did it a little separate. So I just, basically the first time I just blended, as you saw, the applesauce and stuff with it, but then I added the sugars. Next, I have the brown sugar. It's 1.5 cups of brown sugar, and you just dump it in. And I continued to mix this, as you will see, until it got a little bit hard to blend with my hand mixer. So this part, I just creamed it very, very well, as much as I could. Probably a couple minutes. Then I went and grabbed my flour. So the recipe called for all-purpose flour, but we use the white whole wheat. It's a little bit healthier, I believe, than the, white flour. This actually comes from King Arthur, and I get a whole bunch sent to me. You can use salt or not. I did opt for the salt, but the recipe said you don't even have to if you don't want to. Then I used 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. This is just where you dump. So you dump the flour first, and then you continue on. 1/4 teaspoons of the baking soda. 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. That's a lot of cornstarch. Okay, so you see I'm mixing it here. And I'm just going around as best I can. But once it started to get hard, you could get yourself a wooden spoon or a spoon. I just used a metal spoon there, and you see how I'm pushing it down and trying to get it mixed up real well. And then off camera, I did use I washed my hands and took my rings off, and then I mixed it with my hands. And then here I just poured some sugar into a bowl. You can skip this step if you don't want a lot of sugar, but I opted to do it because I think the cookie itself is sweet, but not overly sweet. And this didn't make it overly sweet either. So this recipe is really good for if you don't like real sweet cookies, but just enough, you know. I mean, they're still sweet, but they're not like overly sweet. I've had some cookies where they were kind of overly sweet and it was like, oh no. But this here was good. So basically I used my little scooper there. That scooper I got at Walmart, very cheap. And you just put it in the bowl and you shake it up. You could put a lid on it. You can shake it up. And then using the fork to push down each cookie. And you just keep repeating the steps until you run out of dough. It's a very simple recipe to make. It didn't take me that long. This whole video, well, if you see that the video is only 10 minutes long, but I think it was 21 minutes by the time I edited it down and sped it up a little bit so that you guys wouldn't get bored. But these cookies are very good for like even Christmas or holidays coming up, you know. Probably even Thanksgiving would be nice to have some peanut butter cookies. Well, these cookies you can take to birthday parties. I mean, this is just a cookie that anybody can make at any time of the year. And we're going to go ahead and bake them. So when I first looked at the recipe, I have to laugh because I thought it had said 2 to 3 minutes. But after like 2 minutes, I'm looking and I'm like, that's not right. And then I remembered, it's like 10 to 12 minutes. So you guys be a judge on your oven. Set it at 350 degrees. And honestly, I don't know. I know I probably went about 12 minutes, but I didn't really closely time them. I just kind of put them in there and I kept looking at them. And when they were just a little golden brown on the bottom, then I said, okay, and you could smell it, you know, it smelled good and stuff. I said, okay, it's time to take them off. They will be soft when you remove them, so just gently remove them. I put out some of these little racks, these cookie racks, and I thought this would be a nice place to cool. You could see right there how pretty golden brown the bottoms are. That's how you know they're done. They're golden brown bottoms. The tops aren't going to be brown like, you know, like the bottoms. But so anyways, I was saying I got these racks and this worked out really good. So once I set them all on there, then I let them cool. And didn't take long to cool. And yeah, Jerry loved these too. Him and I munched on it with some mango ice cream. Well, actually it's sherbet. We call it ice cream, but it's not. It's actually mango sherbet that we bought from the store. That turned out really good too. The cookies, peanut butter cookies with mango sherbet. You'll see probably my thumbnail is what I'll use, the picture that I took of the cookies. But maybe I'll stick it here in the video too, just to give you guys a look of what it kind of looked like when I went to serve it. But then I said, man, I wonder how these taste, you know. So, but I had to continue on. I was wanting one, but I was being a good girl till I got them all plated up here and ready to put in the oven. Just continuing to use the fork and pressing them down. You don't want to overpress, you know, but just enough to make a little design on top and kind of bring them down. Oh, you see my onions to the right? Those are the ones we grew in our garden this year. I keep them out. We had them out on the porch to dry, and then it kept raining and raining. We had to bring them in, so we dried them in the house instead. They didn't get very big this year, which I'm really surprised. I think it was the weather. Everything's the weather nowadays. here I'm trying to show you 12 minutes, but then I'm like, I got to try one of these. Look at that. Inside's real good, soft, and the bottom was brown. It was just so delicious. Thanks for watching. Try these out. I think you'll like it.